Oh no, it's Kiefer's birthday, and am I getting cold feet? Am I getting buyer's remorse before I even go pick up my 2023 F-250? I've got an idea. I think what I'd like to do, take the Bronco Raptor and trade it with the F-250 Tremor and do a 2-for-1. I have a really nice Wild Track down here. I love that vehicle. I have a Ford Ranger Raptor coming in. I'm just on the page that, you know what, I think I'd be really happy with my Ford Ranger Raptor. And if I can make a deal work where this makes more sense, 2-for-1, I'd feel a lot better. I really love that new F-250. It's just a really comfortable vehicle. So it's just really, truly in my heart, I feel the right decision is 2-for-1, cut down the debt, and that'd be the better way to go. So stay tuned for those adventures. It ain't over yet. Oh, the antics, the adventures, they just never end. But here's the thing. I truly love the Wild Track package. For anybody out there who's going to buy a Bronco, I'm going to tell you straight up, the Wild Track Bronco package is such a nice package. You're going to be extremely happy with that vehicle. And for me, it's all about too many damn cars and trucks. And yeah, I mean, sincerely, if I could get myself out of a lot of these vehicles, I would. But it's called writing checks. And yeah, is this a badass looking truck? It is. But I'm really in the page of, if I can get rid of 2-for-1, I think that's a great idea. I mean, I'm pretty sure we can. But I'm sure some people are like, really? Give up that Bronco Raptor? I've had 2 of them. The irony is, a year ago to date, I traded close to it. So I traded out my Cactus Gray Bronco for the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, if I remember right, something like that. And so the adventure begins for the last day of this F-250 having residency at my residence. And I tell you, it's just too complicated to get on my damn property. Then getting the dog, getting this done, that done. And it's a beautiful day, and yeah, you know, for me, I really should be here cutting the grass, weed whacking, trimming, gardening. Yeah, I know, I hear you, man. It just doesn't end on the Iceman's addictions having to buy something. I get it. Yeah, I know. But here's the good news. Hopefully I can get rid of some debt instead of get more debt. That's the goal. I mean, if I can do a 3-for-1, yeah, but the danger is for me, see, here's the challenge in my life. I have such cool cars that I start letting go. I mean, do I let go of the race truck? I mean, sincerely. I mean, that would be, I'm sure in many people's eyes, like, what a joke. But, it's just a car. It's just another payment. Is that sacrifice for the Ford Ranger Raptor? See, if you think it through, I saved the Raptor Bronco for the Ford Ranger Raptor, but that's going to be probably mid-year, and in between that time and this time and that, I mean, so what do I give up when that comes in? Yeah, and it starts narrowing down, very challenging of what I would have to let go. It'd come down to, do I let go of a Mustang? So is the Raptor, you know, it's kind of dangerous. The Raptor Bronco should be saved for the Raptor Ranger. I hear you. Yeah, I know. And, you know, it's just, you have to just take it in stride. Whatever it's going to play out with the Iceman, you just never know. And how I got myself in this adventure, yeah, did I create my own challenge? I did. Now listen to these tires. These tires are a lot more worn because they have a lot more miles on them. And, you know, this is a nice truck. I mean, in all reality, as I drive it over there, danger is I'll be like, all right, we just trained, this is how it plays out. We'll just trade the Raptor Bronco for the, yeah, I mean, so here's an idea, actually. Ha! This is dangerous. So I take the Raptor Bronco, I trade it for this F-250 truck. Then I use this truck for the Ranger Raptor. Voila. Ha! There you go. That would actually probably be the smart thing to do, because it's just, yeah, that's the better idea. Wow. Get this. I figured out what we should do. Okay, so we take the Raptor Bronco with our F-250. We save this F-250 for the Ranger Raptor. I mean, here's the thing. If we can do a two for one, I'm up for it. But at the same time, when the Ranger Raptor comes in, what am I going to have to give for the Ranger Raptor?
Well, really, technically, you don't want nothing on that Ranger Raptor, right?
Well,
You don't want to roll nothing into it, do
well,
you?
no way. I don't want. I have too many cars. There's just no way. Ford's not going to continue to buy more notes. There's no way. There's just no way. They're going to, be like, look, you got to start shedding some debt. So, no, we're going to have to give something to give something. So all I'm saying to you is, well, this is what I'm thinking. There's a lot of negative equity being buried into this other truck, which I don't like. We take the Bronco Raptor. It's a high-end purchase, but then we wipe out all that negative equity. On the Ford Ranger Raptor, what we have is we're going to have negative equity, but the truck's like half the price. So it won't be as radical on the debt to the payments.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So right. So.
Oh, it doesn't end. I just came to closure. The smartest thing I can do, I can take the Ford Bronco Raptor and trade it for this F-250 Tremor. And just leave it at that. And some people are like, oh my gosh, why would you do the 2-for-1? Here's the challenge. The negative equity. They're not giving me a lot of money for this truck, and it's a lot of negative equity going into the deal for another truck, which I'm just not comfortable with. So here's my thought process. My one vehicle is in a company name. My other vehicle is in a personal name. So this vehicle here is in my personal name. So I saved this vehicle for the future Ford Ranger Raptor truck, which could come in 3, 4, 5 months from now, as I paid down more debt on this vehicle. And the good news is, the Ford Ranger Raptor is like a $52,000 vehicle. You get into these F-250 trucks, these things are $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. So you start adding $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 negative equity, these things get in the stratosphere, but they'll buy the deal because of the loan value of the truck. They'll go over what it's selling for. That goes on all the time to absorb the negative equity. But I just don't like the numbers. I don't like the numbers at all. So my position is, let's take the Ford Raptor, which probably really won't have any negative equity, and I get tax credits because it's tagged in Florida. And so it'll be a much cleaner deal. And then I get that nice Ford F-250 that I like, really do like that truck. And the payment will actually be less. There won't be any negative equity in it. And it'll be a cleaner deal. And then the good news is, when the Ford Ranger Raptor comes in, I use this vehicle to trade for the Ford Ranger Raptor. And sure, there'll be negative equity there, but it won't be radical. And that's just a cleaner way to approach this whole equation, which I think it's incredible on how, I don't know if I said this yesterday or not, but after I left the dealership yesterday, we were going back and forth on 60-month or 72-month financing. And so I was hemming and hawing because of the payment. Well, at the end of the day, it was like $100 a month difference on the payment from 60-month to 72-month. But the problem was we went from 9% financing to like 12.5% financing for a lengthier term. But I took the lower payment with a higher interest. But after I left the dealership, I really thought, you know what? That's not the greatest idea. So right before I got home, I called back Steve at Coons Baltimore Ford, and I said, hey, don't fund that deal. He's like, what? We just funded it. I'm like, well, you need to reverse it back. He's like, all right, hold on. He's like, I got Ford on the phone right now. Let me reverse it back right now. And I said, yeah, reverse it back. Let me sleep on this and see what makes sense, because I'd be a fool to take the higher interest rate for $100 a month difference in payment, but a year longer in payments. I mean, how foolish can you be? So, but the good news is, since the deal never got funded, we can start this whole deal over again and take it away from my personal side, put it in my business side, and then move on with that Ford Bronco Raptor, which is my second one. It's nice, but I got the Wild Track, which works for me all day long. It's a really nice vehicle. Challenge is, I'll have to take apart my whole toolbox assembly in the back of that Bronco. It's not really that hard. And then I'm going to take the the trail gator off the back of that tailgate, which isn't a real big deal, but this will be like the third time I've done this type of stuff. Yes, because I had a hot pepper red wild track that I traded in for that cactus gray Bronco, and so I had to take everything out of accessories and then put it in the new cactus gray. Then I traded the cactus gray in last year, so I have to take everything apart in that only to put it in the black Raptor. And so now, if I do this deal, I'm going to take everything out of the black Raptor and then transfer it over to the other wild track. Oh my gosh. Are you having fun yet? What do I do every day in my life besides screw around with cars, right? Wow. And a beautiful Saturday is heavy. But I feel so much better about this idea, what I'm thinking about doing. So I feel better. I woke up last night, 2 a.m. I'm thinking, I just don't feel good about this deal. I mean, I'm sincere. I'm just thinking, I don't feel good about it. Is it really worth it? Buyer's remorse. Yeah, and I told the dealership, I was like, I'd rather just come back tomorrow and do this deal. Let me go home and sleep on it. Anybody out there, the biggest advice you'll ever get in life is sleep on it. Yes. So there's a guy doing his videoing right there on his bike. So the biggest challenge on this technology is it doesn't properly interface with the truck. It just doesn't, never ends. So you know what it is, what Ford and GM say, it's not them. It's this Apple and Droid technology that are the problem. So I'm going to have to power off my phone to get this thing to work right. It's just incredible. And it distracts you so much as you're driving down the road. All right, so voila, I got the music back by turning my phone off and turning it back on. It just drives you nuts. Going by Frederick Harley-Davidson. Maybe you watch my channel. So I know the owner on a personal level because I've been there many, many years. And it's a sentimental business for me that I feel it's kind of too bad they didn't make it, because Frederick Harley-Davidson was one of my first Harley-Davidson purchases my whole life. Frederick Harley-Davidson was where I met a young lady standing there in the showroom in like a February or March cold day that said you can ride a motorcycle if you have a motorcycle license. And I did, which ended up getting me to buy a motorcycle, and I got the blessing from my wife. So that's what really got me to the Harley world, was Harley-Davidson Financial and Frederick Harley and a nice used Street Glide. So it was really, that's just a really cool location, and yet now it's closing the doors. And apparently Dark Cars, another mega car dealership, is buying out that dealership. That's what one of the employees there told me after I talked to the owner. The owner really wouldn't disclose much to me, but the employee said that Dark Cars has already come to that store and has ensured everybody they'll have a job as of May 1st when they take over ownership of that facility. Now the owner just kept on saying he doesn't know if the new owners are going to be able to continue to have the Harley brand there, because apparently what happened is Harley-Davidson is demanding them upgrading that facility to be all refreshed for the Harley-Davidson image. And that's millions and millions of dollars. So I think the talks kind of, fell apart between Dark Cars and Harley-Davidson on their demanding that they refresh that whole facility, which could, once again, be a lot of money. So the owner there, he, it's really incredible on how I really think that a lot of things played out this past summer with that facility. And what I think played out is probably Harley-Davidson went to the family and said, you got to update this facility. And, one thing that's kind of nice about this truck, if I get this other truck, I think it'll be more accurate. Here it says I'm doing 76 miles an hour, but yet I'm doing like close to 80 miles an hour. I mean, I'm at 77. So the speedo's off by 2-3 miles an hour on this vehicle because the person never calibrated it back when they put the bigger tires on it. I would assume that this guy, Kirby, that I'm buying this truck from, Coonsville from Ford, I would suspect that he calibrated that right. Let's get our adaptive cruise control on, which that's such a key thing for me in these vehicles is the adaptive cruise. But anyways, so for the Frederick Harley, what's really playing out is that the renewal for the franchise of Harley-Davidson probably came to be, and Harley said, you have to update this facility. And I'm sure the owner's like, we're just not doing it. We're not up for it. We've had our day, we've had a good run, and we're done. And now the big guys that have the money are showing up to take over. But at the same time, the owner, Sean, implied yesterday that the talks between the new owner and Harley-Davidson all of a sudden just fell apart. That the new owners weren't excited about the Harley brand because of what I just explained to you. So what's intriguing to me is up there in that Frederick, Maryland area, the Honda brand has disappeared from there. The Triumph brand has disappeared from there. And so there's really not a great opportunity for somebody to go in there and set up shop with Honda and Triumph. Honda in a multi-brand dealership there would probably do very well. And so then the question is, where does Harley go? Who comes in and takes Harley? It's going to be very interesting to see how things play out once the 1st of May. This, as well as I do, it could take some time to negotiate Harley to come back in there. Who knows? Or maybe at the last second Harley caves and lets them just continue to sell product out of that facility the way it looks.